Jai Hind friends. In previous lecture we have discussed about approximations. Now we are going to extend this idea to estimation of errors. We are already aware with the idea of error. The difference between a true value and an estimate or approximation of that value is called error. Now we move towards types of errors. On the basis of their type or our physical requirement, we classify the errors into three main categories. One is absolute error. Absolute error is the difference between measured value and the actual value of a quantity. Thus, if x is the actual value of a quantity and x naught is the measured value of that quantity, then this absolute error is defined as mod of x minus x naught. As its name indicates, it is containing absolute value sign and therefore its value is never negative. It just gives the difference between the actual value and approximated value. Second is relative error. This relative error gives the ratio of error to the quantity. Thus, the ratio of error to the quantity is called relative error. Relative error is given by delta x over x. If a quantity being measured is x and the error in that quantity is delta x, then if I calculate this ratio delta x over x, then it is called relative error. Now we move towards percentage error. If relative error is expressed as a percentage, it is called percentage error. Thus, percentage error is nothing but relative error expressed as percentage. Thus, percentage error is equals to delta x over x times 100, where x is the actual value of the quantity and delta x is the error in the quantity. Because this quantity delta x upon x is relative error, so relative error expressed in percentage gives percentage error. Now, in coming topic, we will discuss that how can we estimate these errors discussed in the previous two slides with the help of concepts of differentials. We have learnt differential in previous lecture and we have seen that how to approximate the value of a function with the help of differentials. Now, we are going to generalize this idea to estimate the error in a function which is dependent on two or more quantities. Let us start with a practical situation. Suppose I have a rectangle. This rectangle has its length A and breadth B. Then we know that area of rectangle given by capital A is small a into B, product of length and breadth. Suppose this A and this B, either both of them or any one of them has some error, then this area will automatically have some error because of the errors present in A or B or both. Similarly, if I consider a say right circular cylinder like this, let R be the radius of this right circular cylinder and H be the height of this cylinder, then its volume can be written as pi times R square H, which is the expression in terms of R and H. If there is some error in R or H or both, then this error will propagate into capital V also. Now, here we will understand that if there is error in R or H, then how much error will be there in V, or how much error will be there in this A if the errors are known in small a and small b. In general, what situation will we will face? We will face a situation in which the error in some independent variables will be given, and we were required to calculate the error in some function of those independent variables. In that case, what we will do? We will use the relation connecting the function and the independent variables. With the help of this relation and the formula for error or approximation discussed in previous lecture, we will calculate the approximate change in the value of function corresponding to those independent variables, and substituting the known errors, we will calculate the required error in the value of the function. The procedure will be clear with the help of examples. I take one example. Example says the power consumed in a resistor is given by this relation P is equals to E square upon R. Find by using calculus the approximate percentage change in P when E is increased by 3% and R is decreased by 2%. We are given that this expression P is equals to E square upon R can be used to calculate power consumed in a circuit where P is the symbol for power, and these E and R are given quantities. If E is increased by 3% and R is decreased by 2%, I want to calculate what is the approximate percentage change in P. Thus, in this problem, we see that change or errors in E and R are given, and we want to estimate the approximate change in the value of P. For this, let us first list the information which is already provided. Because E is increased by 3%, it means the percentage error in E is 3, and it means the value of delta E upon E is equal to 3 upon 100. Because E is increased, therefore, I have placed plus sign here, indicating that increase is there in the value of E. If I do not put this plus sign, it will make no difference however. Now, R is decreased by 2%. It means the value of delta R upon R is minus 2 upon 100. Because R is decreased by 2% means percentage error in R is 2, or I can write delta R over R is equal to minus 2 upon 100. Here negative sign is used because of mentioned decrease. Now, we want to calculate the percentage change in the value of P, that is, this value delta P upon P is required. To calculate this delta P upon P, we first need to find delta P. P is already given in the example or problem, and with the help of those two quantities, we will calculate this ratio delta P upon P, and this ratio delta P upon P will be expressed in terms of given errors. With the help of those errors, I will calculate required value or value of this expression. We recall that delta P can be written as del P over del E delta E plus del P over del R delta R, where this delta E and delta R are changes in E and R, and this formula was studied during the topic approximation in previous lecture. Here V is given, P is given to us as E square by R. I want to calculate delta P using this formula. For this, I shall first calculate these two values del P over del E. del P over del R, and then delta P will be calculated using it. Now from here, when I shall calculate del P over del E and del P over del R, what I will get? When this P will be differentiated partially with respect to E, I will obtain twice E upon R. When this P will be differentiated with respect to R, then E will remain constant, and 1 upon R when differentiating gives minus 1 upon R square. Now we will use this formula along with the values of del P over del E and del P over del R. This is our formula for total derivative. This del P upon del E is already calculated, del P over del R is already calculated, and substituting those values I obtain delta P as this expression. Now we were aiming to calculate delta P upon P, and therefore I calculate ratio of these two equations, and so it will give me the value of delta P upon P. So dividing equation 2 by equation 1. When I will divide corresponding sides of these two equations, I will obtain delta P over P in left hand side. This term twice E by R delta E minus E square by S R square delta R whole divided by E square by R in right hand side. Now this term will be further simplified. Simplifying this expression, I obtain this term. I have just written this E square by R with each of these terms in numerator. So it gives twice E upon R delta E over E square by R and minus E square upon R square delta R over E square by R. Now simplification, this R will cancel out, here this E square will cancel out, 1 power of E will cancel out, and here 1 power of R will cancel out, and so I will obtain delta P is equal to twice delta E over E minus delta R over R. Now this delta E and this delta R over R both are given to us in the problem, so I will substitute their values. This is our relation. The value of delta E over E was plus 3 by 100 and delta R over R is minus 2 by 100. Substituting these values here, I obtain this expression. Simplification leads to this term and it becomes delta P upon P is equals to 8 upon 100. It means the relative error in P is 8 upon 100, and when this error will be expressed as percentage, it will be 8%. Thus error or change in P is 8%. Let me sum up what happened once again. This formula P is equals to E square upon R was given. The errors in E and R or changes in E and R were given, and we were looking for the corresponding change in this value of P. What I have done, I used the formula connecting P, E and R. Here E and R are the variables in which errors are or changes are given, and P is the variable or function in which the change is to be calculated. I used the relation connecting these three. With the help of this relation, I calculated delta P, and with that value of delta P, I obtained the value of delta P upon P, and simplification leads to this result, and substituting no errors, I calculated the required error as 8%. Now we take one more example in this connection. Here the relation involving E, P and R was mentioned in the problem. In coming problem, such relation will not be directly given, but some physical situation will be given, and with the help of that situation we will construct a relation with the help of geometrical situation, I should say, we will construct a relation, and that relation will be used to find required error or change. We move towards this example. Example says a balloon is in the form of right circular cylinder of radius 1.5 and length 4 meter and is surmounted by hemispherical ends. What is the situation? We have a balloon which is in form of right circular cylinder. Radius is 1.5 meter and height is 4 meter, and this balloon is surmounted by hemispherical ends. One hemispherical end on one side, another hemispherical end on another side, and this is the actual situation or actual figure of balloon. I have drawn it here in a better manner. This is our balloon. If the radius is increased by 0.01 meter, this radius of the balloon is increased by 0.01 meter and length by 0.05 meter. This length is increased by 0.05 meter. Find the percentage change in the volume of the balloon. What is the gist of the problem? Problem says that we have a balloon having some radius and height and shape like this. The radius and height of cylindrical part are changed, and with the help of those radius and heights, the volume when calculated will also be changed, and we want to find the corresponding percentage change in the volume of the balloon. First of all, I name the variables to formulate our problem properly, and therefore I write r for radius and height as h. Thus, I mention that radius and height of the cylindrical part be small r and small h respectively. We are looking for the change in volume. The changes in r and h are known. So, I will look for a relation involving volume r and h, and thus we need to first calculate the volume of this balloon in terms of r and h, and that formula or expression will be further used to calculate required percentage change. Here the radius is 1.5 meter, so I mention r is equals to 1.5 meter. The height is 4 meter, so I write h equals to 4 meter. Because radius is increased by 0.01 meter, it means delta r, change in radius, is 0.01 meter and length is increased by 0.05 meter. So, delta h is equals to 0.05 meter. Now, we will express the volume of this balloon in terms of r and h, because errors in r and h are given to us. Now, we know that the volume of the balloon, which is written as V here, will be the sum of volumes of three geometrical figures. One is this hemisphere, another is this cylindrical part, and another is this hemispherical part again. Because both hemispheres are identical, so I can multiply the volume of 1 by 2 to get the total volume of these two hemispheres, and thus the volume of balloon will be volume of cylindrical part plus twice of volume of hemisphere. Now, this volume of cylindrical part will be calculated with the help of volume of cylinder, and the volume of cylinder is pi r square h. This is basic formula which we study in elementary level. Similarly, the volume of hemisphere is twice 2 upon 3 pi r cube, this is standard formula studied in elementary level, multiplying this by 2, I will obtain the value of V as this expression. Now, we are aiming to find the change in V, because we are looking for percentage change in V. So, we are first aiming to calculate delta V. Then this delta V will be converted to percentage value, and for this I shall use this formula del V over del R delta R plus del V over del H delta H. Here V is given. We need to calculate first this del V over del R and del V over del H with the help of this given value of V. So, I will differentiate this V partially with respect to R and then with respect to H. From here, when I differentiate this V with respect to R, this H will remain constant, at it will become twice pi RH. This pi r cube when differentiated with respect to R will give 3r square, and cancelling that 3 with this one, I obtain del V over del R as twice pi RH plus 4 pi r square. Also, del V over del H from this term will be simply pi r square, because second term has no term involving H, so it will be 0, and first term when differentiated partially with respect to H will simply give pi r square. Now, these values will be substituted in this formula for delta V. This is the expression for delta V. This del V over del R is replaced by its value, del V over del H will be replaced by its value, and I obtain this relation. Now, this delta V can further be written as twice H delta R plus 4R delta R plus R delta H. I have done nothing, but this pi R is simply taken common from this whole term. Now, delta V is calculated by us, V is already calculated by us or already known to us, and we wish to find percentage error or percentage change in V, that is, we need to first find the value of delta V upon V. To calculate this delta V upon V, I need to divide this equation 2 by equation 1, and therefore, dividing equation 2 by equation 1, this is equation 2, this is equation 1, dividing 2 by equation 1, I obtain this value delta V over V as left hand side. In right hand side, this pi r times 2h delta r plus r delta h plus 4r delta r will occur inside bracket. This term pi r square h plus 4 upon 3 pi r cube will occur in denominator, and now we will simplify it and put the suitable values. When I try to simplify it, I observe that pi r is there in numerator, pi r is there in first term also, and pi r is there in second term also. So, this term will cancel out, and I will obtain delta V over V is equals to twice h delta r plus r delta h plus 4r delta r over this expression. The values of r, h, delta r and delta h are already given to us. We will use those values. R was 1.5 meter, h was 4 meter, delta r was 0.01 meter and delta h was 0.05 meter. Substituting those values here, h is replaced by its value 4, delta r is 0.01 and similarly r is 1.5, delta h is 0.05, and I have substituted all values in this expression. This will now be simplified. Simplifying it, I obtain delta V over V is equal to 0.215 upon 9, and Because we are looking for percentage error, so I multiply the value by 100. It becomes 0.215 by 9 into 100, that is 2.389. We can calculate with the help of calculator easily, and the value will come out to be 2.389. It means the error in volume of the balloon is 2.389%. Let me sum up once again what is done. A balloon in the shape shown in figure was given to us. The radius and height of cylindrical part were given, and the changes in radius and height were also given. We were trying to find approximate percentage change in volume of the balloon. We have seen that error in R and H are known, and we want to find the approximate error or change in volume. So, we need to find a relation connecting V, R and H, and that relation was not given here, but we used this geometry of the figure to find the expression for V in terms of R and H. With the help of that relation, I calculated the value of delta V using this formula. Then this delta V was divided by the value of V to give delta V upon V, and this delta V upon V was simplified substituting numerical values, and this gave the value of delta V over V into 100 as 2.389, which is our required percentage error. Thus, in this topic we have discussed that how the concept of differentials can be used to approximate change in value of a function and to estimate error as well in the value of a function which is occurring due to changes or errors in the values of independent variables. This topic is last topic of this module. With this topic this module is over, and we will continue with more videos next time in coming lectures. These are our references. Thank you.